We don't march and protest because we like to march and protest. All we want to do is be free.
SHAUN from New York. Shaun King, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. As you may have seen or heard, yesterday the NFL announced a wide-ranging partnership with Jay-Z and his company, Roc Nation. Now, I'm just going to be completely raw and open about my feelings on this deal. I'm deeply disappointed. I'm deeply disappointed in Jay-Z. I'm deeply disappointed that he formed this partnership with the NFL. I'm deeply disappointed that we learned that he has been privately negotiating this partnership for over a year without ever mentioning a word about the deal to Colin Kaepernick, even though they spoke countless times over the past year. I'm deeply disappointed at several things that Jay-Z said in his press conference with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell yesterday. And I'm definitely disappointed in several things that Jay-Z has said in multiple media interviews. And here's what I know. In our community, we have sacred figures who've grown so loved and so admired that you don't dare critique them publicly, even if it's warranted. In our community, we have some people who are so revered that sometimes we are blinded even to their biggest mistakes. The Obamas are on that level. Oprah is on that level. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are probably on that level now, such that even if they make a real mistake, it's hard for people to see it. It's definitely hard to criticize them because of just how much people love them. And I think that's where we are right now. But I have to say what I have to say first and foremost as a personal friend of Colin Kaepernick, as someone who advised him and spoke with him often while he was taking a knee. But I also have to say what I have to say as a historian and as someone who understands the historical significance of what Colin Kaepernick has done and the price he's still paying for it at this very moment. So I'm just going to put all my cards on the table. Colin Kaepernick is in the prime of his physical life and has had his career stolen from him by the NFL. Not a single NFL player, not one, believes that Colin Kaepernick is out of the league for football reasons. The league has over 100 quarterbacks. Half of them are older than him. 2/3 of them have never won a playoff game. 90% of them have never been to a Pro Bowl. Over 95% of them have never taken their team to the Super Bowl. And Colin has done all of those things. He has records in the NFL that stand to this day. It's not just that the NFL banned him once from the league. The NFL is actively banning this man from the league right now. There are teams that need him right now, but not a single one of them will cross that line to do so. He is a kind, soft-spoken, compassionate man. He has never been in trouble a day in his life. He's brilliantly smart, and I don't just say that as a friend. His score on the Wonderlic test for NFL quarterbacks was the highest of his draft. His grades were strong enough to get into Harvard and Yale. He got offers to attend the Ivy League. The man was literally going to grad school in his spare time while he was in the NFL, and yet he's still banned. And I can't get past it. You cannot actively ban the most courageous athlete of our generation from the league while simultaneously saying that you care about social justice or that you care about police brutality and mass incarceration. You can't actively ban the man who sparked this conversation in the NFL in the first place. Ban him basically for sparking the conversation and say that you now want to continue the conversation, but without him, while you continue to penalize him for sparking it. Yesterday was actually the 3-year anniversary of the first day that Colin Kaepernick took a knee in the NFL. And for the NFL to make this announcement on that day, that they are now forming a new partnership with Jay-Z, to me is disgusting. And here's the thing, and I said that I was going to be real. If you are my friend, my true friend, I can't be friends with somebody who has done you all the way dirty. I can't be friends with somebody who literally stole your career if you're my friend. I can't be friends with somebody who is actively doing you wrong. And if you saw the press conference yesterday, Jay-Z and Roger Goodell look like old buddies. They loved each other. We learned this morning that they've met at least 5 times over the past year about this, regularly flying out to meet one another over and over again. This wasn't a deal that was made last week or last month. The New York Times reported today they've been working on the deal for over a year. And I'll close with this thought. I was particularly disgusted to hear Jay-Z say one thing. He said in an interview yesterday, "We're past kneeling." First of all, Jay-Z, you've never kneeled. And saying that we're past it is a slap in the face of brave men like Kenny Stills of the Dolphins and Eric Reid of the Panthers who are still kneeling. They're not past it. So how are you past it? But here's the deal. If any of this really surprises you about Jay-Z, then you haven't been listening to his music. He's a capitalist above all else. He's about profit above all else. And so this hurts, but it's not surprising. This is who he is. Take care, everybody.
What did he say? He said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man."
Yeah, that's who he is.
I was disappointed that Colin Kaepernick settled on that collusion case because I wanted that thing to go to court to show everybody how they colluded to keep him out of the NFL, and they settled.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the whole thing is complex. I spoke to several people who were there at the press conference yesterday, and many of them said that Jay-Z seemed earnest and sincere about wanting to push for social justice. I don't deny that. I don't. And I like many of the things that he's done, and I've supported some of those things. I've appeared in his documentaries. But here's the thing. You can't make a deal on social justice with somebody while they are actively penalizing the primary person that started the conversation, particularly if you call that person your friend. That's not a good deal.
2 questions. When he made that statement, did it mean that we're past kneeling, like we have to do something else? One question. And the second question is this a way that Jay-Z feels that he's going to be able to help
change
Colin?
From within?
And help Colin?
And I'm not answering for Sean, but I think it's just very interesting the fact that many people are saying that he's lied about even talking to Colin about this. Wow. Having said that he had a conversation.
He was dishonest about it. He had not talked to Colin about this deal in any shape, form, or fashion. And later he said, I just meant I had talked to Colin Kaepernick, like in general. But he had never mentioned this deal to Colin, not once.
And that makes me suspicious about any conversation about working within in order to affect change, Kim.
If Jay-Z felt good about this deal, he'd have talked to Colin Kaepernick about it.
Yeah. All right, Sean.
We'll see.
Yeah, take care.